Music for the Masses by Depeche Mode turns 38 years old this year. As an elder in the community, I'm going to give you my retro review as someone who was 17 years old in '87, waiting for this new Depeche Mode release. But first, I want to kind of set the stage for where we were at. As some of you know, People Are People was a decent size hit for Depeche Mode in the US in the 80s. 85, 86, it got a lot of radio airplay. It introduced a lot of people to Depeche Mode. I had an older cousin who would give me all kinds of bootlegs, just everything you can imagine from the late 70s to the early 80s, what we now call goth, punk, electro, synth pop, you name it. He had it, and I was the beneficiary of a bunch of mixtapes. A lot of us went out and got People Are People. If I remember correctly, it's a compilation for the US. Got some great songs, especially People Are People. A lot of us also got Catching Up with Depeche Mode. So, between these two releases, we had Just Can't Get Enough, People Are People, Master and Servant. We had their singles, their hits, a good breath of what Depeche Mode was. For those of us lucky to be around at the time, we also got Black Celebration. Now, a lot of Depeche Mode fans will tell you this is near the top of their list. It is a fantastic electronic album, one of the best in the genre. It gave us Stripped, it gave us New Dress, it gave us Dressed in Black, but Not Tonight. Just, there's not a sleeper on this. There's not a skippable song on this entire album. Now, so here's where we're at. We have Catching Up, we have People Are People, we have Black Celebration. The synth pop simplicity and perfection of Just Can't Get Enough, but also we got Master and Servant. So for some of us, young teenagers in the 70s, it's kind of one of our first introductions to overtly sensual, sexual, fetishized songs and lyrics. Master and Servant, just fun pop, all dance songs, right? But we also get something like, I am a Christian, grew up in a Christian home. My cousin, who gave me all the bootlegs that I eventually fell in love with and went out and bought the tapes and CDs and vinyl, let me know that I should not let my parents hear blasphemous rumors. And I get it. As a Christian, I've asked similar questions. I had a son die from brain cancer. That will be explored on some of these videos. It will be explored in my Depeche Mode liturgy series that I'm working on. Baby Bob and I need you to know that we know what I'm about to say is my opinion, not Depeche Mode's opinion. And although I fall on a different side of the coin than Depeche Mode does with blasphemous rumors, I understand the pain and the emotions and the doubt all wrapped up in there. We'll get there. We'll get there. In this retro review of Music for the Masses, we're going to touch on that here for a minute. Then we also get the masterpiece of Somebody, possibly the greatest love song ever written. I mean, certainly up there. Easily the best in the genre, but again, young, 15, 16, 17-year-old teenager in the 80s, getting first crushes, pursuing first girlfriends, to have a song like Somebody Come Along just is mind-blowing. And yes, I want those things too. So for someone like me, Christian kid, growing up in Houston in the 80s, songs like Blasphemous Rumors, little risky in my house because I get it, but you add on to that Master and Servant. Master and Servant, right? Exploring sexuality, exploring religion in a way that was completely new to me as a kid in the 80s. So that's where we're at. We love Black Celebration. We're enjoying the pop, synth pop simplicity, but yet perfection of things like Catching Up. Radio friendly, People Are People. So that's kind of where we're at. We're primed for Music for the Masses. The first song we hear from Music for the Masses was Strangelove, released in April of 1997. So obviously you've seen the video, but if you haven't seen the video, go see the video, because that video, that sound, that song is kind of the perfect kind of encapsulation of what Depeche Mode could be and would be. The band were effortlessly cool. Black leather. I know they had the leather and black celebration, and I know this isn't new to them. I know Martin Gore had a lot of fetish wear, but the way that it's presented in Music for the Masses made it a little more accessible to people not in the scene, not in the lifestyle, not into that kind of thing. And the video for Strangelove, it's perfection. It's Depeche Mode at the best of Depeche Mode. Again, effortlessly cool. The women were as effortlessly sexy as the band was cool, with the brunettes and the leather and the corsets and the stockings and all the things that would come to define an entire scene, right? You can go to any goth, electronic, industrial concert now, and you're basically going to see women who look like they were picked out of a Depeche Mode video, probably Strangelove. Perfect introduction to what would become Music for the Masses. Then, after Strangelove, we get Never Let Me Down Again. I'm taking a ride with my best friend. Again, directed by Anton Corbijn, who, in all honesty, probably deserves his own video. He shaped so much of what we now know about Depeche Mode. Taking the more playful looks of something like The Meaning of Love and crafting it into the image that we know from Music for the Masses, from Strangelove, from Never Let Me Down Again. But again, Never Let Me Down Again comes out and it's fantastic. And then September 28th of 1987, we get the entire release of Music for the Masses. Now, the third single is Behind the Wheel. Which again, I got a quote here in a minute where one of the band members kind of makes a comment. It's not really about the lifestyle or fetish. It's more about like just, who's in charge tonight. But it definitely plays nice with the past kind of more sensual side of Depeche Mode. Master and Servant, Strangelove, and then Behind the Wheel. If you haven't seen it, definitely get Strange. I got the Strange 2. All black and white from Music for the Masses, the color videos from Violator. But when these play in order, it's easy to tell, like the cute little car that's in Never Let Me Down Again comes back in Behind the Wheel, broken down, but it's okay because David Gahan gets a ride from, you guessed it, brunette, wearing stockings on a cute little scooter, and again, very sensual, very sexualized, very Depeche Mode. All wrapped up in just this incredible radio-friendly, what becomes kind of arena-friendly pop perfection. I don't know what to say. Like, I know Violator is a perfect album, but I'm going to suggest Black Celebration, Music for the Masses, Violator, Songs of Faith and Devotion, 4 virtually perfect albums in a row. And we loved it. Then, the last single from that, released actually in 1988, Little 15.
Little 15, you help her forget the world outside. You're not part of it yet.
Not quite the same style as video as the others, but Depeche Mode looking effortlessly cool. In the leather, which to this day, I mean, what kid in the 80s watching this play out on MTV, watching these videos drop one at a time, didn't do this? Yeah, we also had to run out and get our leather jackets. This is mine, actually from high school, that I still have. Other than the neck being a little torn up, I still have my Depeche Mode inspired leather jacket. All right, too hot to wear that right now. So I'm 17, already in love with Depeche Mode. Strange Love is a perfect single, followed by Never Let Me Down Again, which is a perfect single, followed by Behind the Wheel, which again is just kind of this perfect single, and this weird little tune, Little 15, which we'll get to in a minute. But how could you not love music for the masses? And look, I know some of you are like, yeah, but it's no Violator. I don't think we get Violator without music for the masses. I'll explain why. We already talked about Never Let Me Down Again. The track listing. You put on the record player. Actually, I got the tape first. Put in the tape. And you get Never Let Me Down Again, which we know because it was a single. And it was beautiful. And Don't Hate Me, the second song, is The Things You Said. Please don't stop watching the video with what I'm about to say, but Martin Gore's solo songs are rarely my favorite on an album. Don't hate me. This is a little different. I don't skip them. I don't hate them. I don't dislike them, but they're never my favorite. I do prefer the dancier side of Depeche Mode usually. But again, something that makes Music for the Masses so special to me is The Things You Said. It's one of my favorite songs. Beautiful, slow, in Martin's voice. Possibly never better. Then Never Let Me Down Again, Things You Said, Strange Love, again, it's just such a banger, such an incredible song. Very accessible, darker, alt, sex, lifestyle, all the things wrapped into this just amazing Depeche Mode song. I know on Black Celebration, they dealt with religious themes with Blasphemous Rumors. But I think we see a turning point here, which we will see flesh out definitely in Personal Jesus from Violator, but also Songs of Faith and Devotion proper. And Sacred, I think, kind of shows that transition of not dealing with religion, not just talking about religion, but co-opting religious imagery and religious themes for their own purposes. So again, Christian, grew up in a Christian home. This was very easy for me to understand. Just like Fletch said about this song, Sacred is about love as a creed. Again, this deep, rich religious word. The Apostles' Creed, think that. And here is that pivot where they're not just referencing religion, but they're co-opting these religious themes, this idea of this unconditional love that you find in a religion like Christianity, and applying it to their own personal relationships outside of the religion. I want to remind you, Baby Bob and I understand this is my take. This is why, as a Christian fan, I love Sacred. We need you to know that we know this isn't what Depeche Mode would say. This is what Simon would say. And then, after Sacred, you get to this weird little number, Little 15, which I recently found out was actually inspired by one of Martin Gore's friends, who was a 15-year-old boy, young man, who had an affair with the teacher. Interesting song. He says it wasn't meant to be taken sexual. Nice little tune. I love the dancier Strange Love, and for sure Behind the Wheel. Great single. Then again, flip that tape over and you get Behind the Wheel. Again, this kind of subtle hint at sensuality. Pardon my language. Dave Gahan commented in Gear Magazine in 1998, Behind the Wheel is about, and that's it. Hey, is it my turn or your turn? Who's driving tonight, honey? Look, I took it a little more subtly than he presented it, but there you go. Another great Depeche Mode song about passion and sensuality. And then possibly the sexiest song of the genre and one of my all-time favorites, and it definitely has made every mixtape I've ever made my wife. It is one of the more direct Martin Gore songs. It is one of the more direct Depeche Mode songs where there is some subtlety in Behind the Wheel, maybe even Strange Love. I Want You Now is very direct. It's very upfront.
I want you now, tomorrow won't do. There's a yearning inside, and it's showing through. Reach out your hand and accept my love. We've waited for too long. Enough is enough. I want you now.
Martin Gore writes it, Dave Gahan sings it, and they make their intentions very known. And I'm sorry, it is a perfect passion song. Not even sure I want to call it a love song. Somebody, great love song. I Want You Now, maybe more of a lust song. Then we get to Having to Hold. It's not a skip for me, but it's possibly my least interesting, the least interesting song on Music for the Masses for me. We get Nothing, another just beautiful kind of end to what is going to become Music for the Masses, and then that goes into Pimpf, which is great because in addition to all this, Music for the Masses was my first Depeche Mode tour. I saw them May 14th, 1988 at the Southern Star Amphitheater in Houston, Texas, and they opened with Pimpf, and it was beautiful. Curtains, they fall. And my claim to fame for that show is, at the time, that concert was the biggest concert they'd ever played. That comment about these songs were way more radio friendly and, you know, becoming these anthems and being very arena friendly pop rang true with 101. A great, incredible live release. 101 101st concert at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. Obviously, in addition with the release, there was the 101 movie documentary. It's fantastic if you haven't seen it. It's mind-blowingly good. It is Depeche Mode at the top of their game, and 101 was the concert that beat the one that I saw in 1988 as the largest one they've done. They've gone on to do bigger. Music for the Masses is kind of when Depeche Mode became Depeche Mode. I know some of you may go here, and I get it, and I don't think I would argue with you too much over some drinks, but I think with look, with style, certainly with acceptance in the US, Music for the Masses becomes a very literal title, culminates with this 101 release, double album, double CD, concert film, and that creativity leads to, we do get a Martin Gore solo album, Counterfeit, which if you're a Depeche Mode fan and hadn't really heard this, you should probably check it out. I think it's on Spotify somewhere. And then from that comes what I know a lot of you will say is their greatest album, Violator. Music for the Masses turns 38 years old, September 28th of this year. And I think it is the album that made Depeche Mode who they are. Their more radio, arena friendly sound, because I got a butt ton of fans really quick. The just effortlessly cool videos from Anton Corbijn. My retro review is, we anticipated this album. We were desperate for this album. And it did not disappoint. There's not a song on here that you skip. There are definitely songs on here that you replay over and over and over again. It is Depeche Mode at their finest, at the time, at their highest. Right there on the cusp of world domination. It really was music for the masses. Now, I mentioned sacred. I'm working on a Depeche Mode liturgy that's going to deal with songs of confession, songs of conversion, and songs of consecration. As a Christian, it's going to be my liturgy of Depeche Mode songs that I treat as, don't hate me if you're a Christian and got this far, as a worship playlist. Those are going to be dropping once a week, so you know the routine. If you would like, subscribe, all the things, so you can be notified when that comes. If you like Depeche Mode, you also are religious or religious friendly, or simply want to know my take on it, come back and check it out. Until then, go listen to music for the masses. It is a fantastic walk down memory lane. Peace.